Hello, everybody, and welcome. Episode 60. Big old 60.
60. Hopefully we don't sound like we're in a tunnel today.
Not in a tunnel.
We're not in a tunnel?
No. We'll be good.
We're not in a tunnel, but ladies and gentlemen, we have tunnel vision
We have tunnel
for
vision,
Elimination Chamber tonight. But, unfortunately, we have to talk about some other stuff before.
Great
Before Elimination
news.
Chamber.
Shocking news.
Huge news for the wrestling business. The fans win. As Eric Young put on Twitter, wrestling wins. And Bella Twin said they completely agree. They retweeted it and said they agree. So we've got WWE people tweeting TNA people. This is a whole new world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is great.
First, you had the Samoa Joe signing with NXT and WWE.
Yes.
But still be able to take bookings.
With Ring of Honor and other places
Indies.
like that.
And now.
Not sure that he'll be able to do those TV tapings now, though.
We'll see. And now.
That will be huge if he can.
Not only one company on Destination America, but two. Never heard of that. You never. When one company is on a channel, you don't have another promotion on that.
Since the days of the early WWF and the NWA, we have never had two promotions on one channel. Now we have had what was Black Saturday or whatever it was, when Vince came in and took over WTBS and put on WWF television on there, and that was a bomb because they tried to destroy Southern wrestling, but it wasn't two companies on one because he took over that time slot.
Right.
This is huge. Everybody is hating on it. Everybody's hating on TNA and everything. Everybody's thinking TNA's out the door. We still don't know if TNA is truly out the door. This may be a way to just boost the fact that Destination America has wrestling on television.
On Wednesdays. It's
On
Wrestling
Wednesday.
Wednesdays on Destination America.
Hashtag Wrestling Wednesday. Hashtag WW. Not E.
We have 7 o'clock Central Time. You have Ring of Honor. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Ring of Honor, is coming to Destination America on June 3rd.
On Wednesdays, it will be the destination for wrestling. Unless you have that on while you have the network on for NXT.
And then at 8 o'clock, TNA Impact.
Yes.
1-2 punch.
1-2 punch is what they're calling it on Twitter, and they've really done a good one here in my opinion.
Yes. Now will they work together?
Can they work together? Will they deliver? I'm a huge fan of Ring of Honor. Haven't been a huge fan of TNA, but I'll say this: people are dogging on TNA getting picked up by Destination America, and I'm not going to be one of those people because the more wrestling that's on TV, the more fans that are happy, because there are certain fans that only watch TNA. They do not watch WWE. So you know what? What's better for the fans is better for the fans, because now you've got a lot of internet wrestling community watch TNA.
Yes.
A lot of them, tons of them, watch Ring of Honor. So now on Wednesdays, the casual fan coming on Monday nights. They're coming on the casual fans on Mondays.
It's like
the
getting up and
IWC.
eating breakfast.
Yes. But the internet wrestling community, I mean, it's literally like, for the internet wrestling community, the nerds behind the keyboards, if you will, it's all like on every Wednesday night they're going to have a hot date now.
Yes, they are.
They're going to have a Ring of Honor, they're going to have TNA and NXT all on the same night. And if you're into Lucha Underground when they get picked back up, then you got Lucha Underground. Ladies and gentlemen, Wednesday night is the night. The night. It is the night for wrestling now. This is huge. Huge stuff. So now you've got wrestling on Monday, wrestling on Wednesdays, and SmackDown's on Thursdays now, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, Friday I don't think it has anything.
No.
And then, of course, Saturday, I don't think it has anything right now. And then Sunday's got pay-per-views and stuff. I mean, still, it's huge stuff. And, of course, you always have the network to watch different stuff on there. So,
but is this a double-edged sword for TNA?
It could be.
You, being TNA, have to either stay equal to what Ring of Honor's ratings are, or improve. You cannot. That is one mistake they cannot do. They cannot go back.
They cannot decrease off of because that's the lead in. Ring of Honor is the lead in, so that's the start of the wrestling. You have to keep your Ring of Honor fans glued in to TNA. They need to be able to have, to plug in a little commercial during Ring of Honor, a little pre-tape thing where they're interviewing somebody or they come up with a storyline during the pre-tape that gets plugged in during the Ring of Honor stuff.
Last commercial break, right before Ring.
Exactly.
Yep.
They need to keep the fans pulled in. That's what they used to do on USA right before
Yes,
when a show would be on.
Yep.
And then right before that show, they'd be like, in 5 more minutes, Monday Night Raw starts and we're going to have Stone Cold take all the rock.
And Dixie loves to do stuff like that.
There you go.
So they need to do it. 'Cause if they decrease, if you lose 1,000, 100,000 people,
right, it's not going to look good for the company.
It's going to hurt. You cannot lose people.
You got to increase your audience from that first hour of Ring of Honor to the 2 hours of TNA. That's the only way to do the business. That's the only way to keep yourself on the station because, yes, there's no competition for the WWE's #1 spot. But now, 2 companies on 1 station, to me, now that creates competition.
Oh, yes.
The 2 hours of TNA need to be better than the 1 hour Ring of Honor. You have 2 hours to be better than a 1 hour show. And I'm not saying I'm against TNA, but I'm not a big fan of them. Can they deliver, though?
And you can't just beat them when you're live.
Right. You have to beat them whether you're taped or not, because Ring of Honor is also taped. So that's not an excuse, people.
Not an excuse.
Ring of Honor,
go that way.
Ring of Honor films their stuff while they're in local events, like like shows or whatever. Mm-hmm. They film some of the matches for television, and some of them aren't. That's the way they run their shows. It keeps costs down that way. That's the way they do things. So you know what? The way I look at it is, they cannot sit here and use an excuse of, well, they're live. Actually, they're not live, number one. Ring of Honor's never live. Number two, it's a second-run program because they've already shown it on Saturdays or Sundays on their Sinclair Broadcasting affiliates. So
right now, it's going to be second run. But I did read that if the ratings are good enough, or
they should
just
get their own hour
it'll be
program.
first run.
Yeah.
And if, like I said,
they could do 2 different shows.
That is the only thing TNA has to worry about.
They could do their own first run stuff on Sinclair Broadcasting, and their own first run stuff on Destination America, and that's a win-win right there.
Oh yes, most definitely. So that's the only thing TNA has to look forward to. Do not decrease in ratings.
Right. I mean, competition is always good, but the thing is that's funny is apparently the TNA people were not informed.
No, they were not informed, which is that's not very good from the standpoint of the management there.
No.
And a lot of
they make it sound like Dixie Carter didn't even know.
Well, that doesn't speak volumes there, so I'm not going to say nothing about that on Dixie, but...
It says, as far as we know, TNA officials especially, or possibly including Dixie Carter, were not aware that there was a deal happening between DA, Destination America, and Ring of Honor. The two sides coming to terms had very little, if nothing, to do with TNA and whether or not the network plans to continue running Impact Wrestling past September. So this is a total separate thing, is the way they're making it sound. But how freaking smart is Destination America to say, hey, we'll move them to Wednesday night, and then we'll add that hour on there the same night we move them to Wednesday.
Yes, yeah.
It's not, it's not by accident, people.
It's not. So it'll be interesting. I'll have my DVR set for a Ring of Honor, and we'll see what goes on from there. Next week, right here on Top Rope Reality, should be very interesting because the ratings will definitely be out.
It's this Wednesday, ain't it?
It's this Wednesday.
June
Wednesday. 3rd. So.
But like I was telling him off camera, this only helps everybody. This helps the wrestling fans. It helps the wrestling community. It helps the wrestlers get more paydays, and it also helps small indie promotions as well. Because the more you see wrestling on television, the more we can get back to a boom period. The more that the casual fan.
I think we're ready to have a boom period.
Yes, it is. The groundwork is being laid down, and if you go to events like I do in Callaway, Florida, or in Creston, Florida, like I went last night,
which we'll talk about shortly.
Yes, those things, you can see the excitement from these fans. If you can get the casual fan to start coming to indie shows, that's where you have a wrestling boom right there. That's when you grow your audience, and that's where we get back to WCW, WWE. Not a Monday Night War,
no.
but a time period where there was a boom where everybody's talking about wrestling.
Yeah.
That's what we need again for wrestling right now.
Well, let's talk about next about Elimination Chamber with champions today.
Yes, we have already put our predictions online, so that way it doesn't look like we did this after the fact, because this will go up after the fact.
This will go up after the fact, but we have some breaking news. Rusev was hurt this past Tuesday on SmackDown.
Maybe he needs to wear wrestling boots.
Maybe he needs to wear wrestling boots. So he may not make the Chamber match, and they're talking Bray Wyatt will replace him.
It makes sense because you take out one feud. Rusev can't be in there, so you've now taken out the Rusev-Dolph feud within the match.
Yeah.
Then you've got Ryback in there, so you add in the Ryback-Bray Wyatt feud into the match. It's perfect. It makes sense. But I mean, there's so many choices for who this new Intercontinental Champion could be. He wanted my pick so he could put it online, and I'm just like bumfuzzled on who it could be.
I know, there's 6 people, so you got.
And all of them, in my opinion, if you look at them, they all, except for, and let's just be honest, R-Truth is not one of them.
No.
But King Barrett could easily become champion again. Ryback, he's on a roll.
He could become a champion.
He could become a champion.
The first champion is in hell.
Exactly. Sheamus could become Intercontinental Champion again. I think he was Intercontinental. I know he's U.S.
Yes, I think he was Intercontinental.
Rusev could have become Intercontinental. Had U.S. and Intercontinental, but it doesn't look like he'll be in there. Then Dolph Ziggler could again get the Intercontinental title back.
And Bray Wyatt.
And then, of course, if Bray Wyatt's in the match because of Rusev not being in it, that's another one who's never had a belt. All of them are top-tier talent for the Intercontinental title.
But for our picks, if you haven't looked on Facebook, I have chosen Sheamus, heel Sheamus, Intercontinental Champion, having a face chase him through the summer would be good stories.
Yes, for SummerSlam to get the win. I got Dolph.
You picked Dolph, and it could be that.
He's been on a roll, too.
He could be chasing Sheamus up to SummerSlam.
Yes. They've both been on a roll. Ryback's been on a roll. Rusev's been on a roll. Bray Wyatt's been on a roll. King Barrett's been on a roll. R-Truth's the only one not on a roll.
No, but he keeps winning over Stardust. So.
Right.
Who's fixing to take on the Arrow, the guy
from Arrow, which will be interesting.
Should be interesting. We'll go to
we'll
go to the. That's what they're talking about. We'll go to the next Elimination Chamber match. It's for the tag team titles.
I'm ready
6 teams.
I'm ready to see how they have the chamber set up for them. Who's all going to be in the chambers? Obviously, New Day's only going to have 2 people participate.
Yes, and it won't be Big E probably because he's so big.
Too big for him.
The other one will be squished.
Yes.
Unless they've made a new chamber and kind of made them bigger.
That'll be interesting.
But
it sounds like 2 people being in one chamber.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Starts with 2 people in the ring, and then you'll have...
You have 2 teams in the ring and 4 other teams in the chambers.
Right.
But the champions are New Day.
Okay.
We have Los Matadores.
Not with
The prime time players, millions of dollars.
We never do it right, so I don't try.
The Ascension, Lucha Dragons, Cesaro, and Tyson Kidd.
And your pick was?
My pick is the New Day will retain the
they're
tag
go all
team
to SummerSlam?
titles. I think they're going all to SummerSlam because people love to hate them. They're getting over right now.
They do love to hate them. I just wish Cesaro and Kidd had it longer.
I wish they did too.
I do.
And if Cesaro and Kidd walked out with the tag team titles, I would not be upset. But I believe since people are chanting New Day sucks and they're getting a reaction,
They're getting a reaction.
I think they're going to squeak their way out of the chamber.
Right.
And keep the tag
with
team
a third
titles.
person out there, somehow there may be a
and
way
the
to
holes
cheat.
in the cage are pretty big to reach in and do what you have to do.
They could do a Mark Henry thing. He could break the chains.
So you could.
There you go. Then you've got Los Matadores, which there's no way.
No.
They're not winning. They're like the R-Truth. The primetime players are on a roll, but they haven't really been wrestling except for Superstars and Main Event.
Now, I smell a tag team title in their future.
Oh, yes, in their future, obviously. And the Ascension
They haven't got off the ground.
No, they got crapped on right when they got there because they said some other word. Even though they were told to, because you know that their stuff's scripted. But anyway.
Of course, everybody's scripted.
But everybody hated it. And ever since then, they've gone downhill, even though that they beat the New Age Outlaws, did they not?
They did.
And then they lose to Lucha Dragons every frickin' night. But they beat
Mega Powers.
The Mega Powers, or Meta Power, whatever you want to call them. So, I mean, I think they only won strictly to make them look better to go into this match.
Yes.
But they're not winning. They're, like you said, they're not even off the ground yet.
No.
They've really lost their momentum off of NXT to come here.
Because I was shocked when they beat the Mega Powers, which they put together. So we have the shirts in there.
Yes, absolutely.
You think they put them together? We were sure they were going to beat the Ascension.
Right.
I think we were sure that Sting was going to beat Triple H.
Yeah, we were wrong on that one.
We were wrong on both those accounts.
And then
but I believe if they face the Mega Powers again, the Mega Powers will win. Yes,
especially after Elimination Chamber,
yeah.
because it won't.
Maybe they just did that to get
so they would help them look good. Yeah. And then you got the Lucha Dragons, who I picked. They are on a roll. They are hot. They are white hot right now.
They are.
Okay. But I could see them, with your idea of the New Day going all the way to SummerSlam, I could see them being the ones to beat them at SummerSlam. I could see it leading to that.
There is New Day should be last, with either Tyson Cesaro
or the Lucha Dragons
or Primetime Players. One of those three teams should be the last two.
Los Matadors should be the first team eliminated.
Or the Ascension.
Yeah. They could be, one or two, boom, boom. Yeah. But also, have they announced if it's single elimination due to injury? Breaking news: Rusev out of tonight's Intercontinental title Elimination Chamber match. Who will take his spot? WWE just sent me a text message because I'm on the inside. Not really.
You're not really.
No, I just subscribed to their text.
So if they're talking Bray, so it should be Bray. I know they're making a big deal about it.
Of course. Better not be Stardust. Not with the role he's on. No Stone Cold today.
No.
Andy Griffith.
I changed it.
Andy Griffith is calling for the WWE.
They are. What's his name? Rusev! Rusev! Not medically cleared!
Oh, because he should wear boots.
He should wear boots.
Maybe we'll come back to a new look with boots.
Okay,
knee pads.
Now we're going to go down. We're going to talk about Bo Dallas versus Neville.
Yes, this is another match just to get Neville to look good. We both picked Neville.
Yes, and they're back. I mean, it worked in NXT.
Yes,
Let's try it on the main stage.
Yes, but they need to finally push Bo Dallas as more than just a DDP. That's what they're doing. DDP. He's doing the motivational gimmick and losing all the time.
He is.
He has got to get his
But we both
back.
I know we both picked Neville.
Yes.
But do you see maybe
Bo Dallas
getting the win? Because I think Neville has wrestled enough matches and who he's wrestled against that a loss would not hurt him.
It would help Bo, and I hope we're wrong. I hope Bo gets the win, and I hope that continues their feud, and it could get them to go to SummerSlam or whatever the case may be, or they could both be in I don't know if they do a Money in the Bank ladder match for them two in it, but maybe they'll be against each other. But Neville will be great in a Money in the Bank ladder match, though.
Oh yeah. Now we're going to next is the triple threat for the Divas Championship. I like the three divas that are in the match.
Yes,
I like what they've done over the weeks leading up to Elimination Chamber.
The only person that would make this a better wrestling match and a better all-around match and make it a fatal four-way would be Natalya. That would be, and I know she's got her thing going right now. But what I'm saying is, if they're looking at pure wrestling, with the three of them being, the three women right now are doing great wrestling. She is one of those pure wrestlers that would also mix well with the three of them.
She would.
But the triple threat is a great idea, and it meshes all the stories, because Paige is mad at Naomi.
Yes,
and then of course Naomi and Nikki.
And Nikki and Paige. Yeah, they've all catch shots at each other.
Nikki has saved Paige, and I don't know, even though Paige hit her on Monday, she saved her.
But also Paige also saved Nikki and hit her with a move.
Very interesting stuff.
So we've all been around there,
right?
But me and you both agree that today is the day that Naomi becomes the Divas champion.
Now, it would be good, and I know we're just making it sound like we're all pulling for all these title changes at SummerSlam, but it would be good for her to hold it till SummerSlam and lose it back to Paige then, at that point.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can't have all the championships change hands at SummerSlam.
No, you cannot.
But it is like the WrestleMania.
Because they're looking right now at the world title, unless they're going to swerve us. They could swerve us.
I think Seth needs to keep it.
I think that would be a good swerve.
I think he needs
You think Brock would come back and just take it off Seth, but Seth would keep it.
It's not going to be an easy, if he wins, it's not going to be an easy victory regardless.
Well, he may have some help after I get through.
He's not gonna destroy Seth.
Okay, let's go with the semi-main event. John Cena versus Kevin Owens. Champion versus champion.
Neither belt's on the line.
No belt is on the line.
That's why I picked Kevin Owens. He needs the win. It would not hurt John Cena, because from what I've read, from the stories that I've heard, and you never know about the internet wrestling community, they're saying that Kevin Owens has signed a contract to be also on the main roster from now on. He's on a lot of live events, a lot of Raws and SmackDowns, But I think that would help him. He needs the win.
You picked Kevin, and I would not be upset if Kevin won.
But you went with the face that ran
But
the place.
I went with John Cena. But John Cena will not pin or make Owens submit, but he will get the win.
Are you saying like a DQ?
I will say Owens will beat him so bad that the ref will call
like
a
the
DQ.
Sami Zayn. Like the Sami Zayn.
Yes.
And I'm fine with that.
That doesn't make Owens look bad.
And it doesn't make
him Cena look bad, and see no titles on the line.
Right.
But if they give Owens the win, that would be showing me that maybe things are changing, and John Cena knows that it doesn't make a difference anymore.
Exactly.
He can lose to these young up-and-comers and still keep his
And
place.
I'm sorry, if that is true about Kevin Owens, if he truly did sign a contract to be on the main roster, still while being the NXT champion, number one, that's the first person to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Neville had to lose the belt, Bo Dallas had to lose the belt, Sami Zayn has lost the belt, he ain't made it to the main roster.
That is speaking
volumes
volumes
about him. And he doesn't have the typical look. I was seeing an interview. I was seeing an interview with him with Sam Roberts talking about comparing him to kind of like a Mick Foley. They have similar looks. They're both kind of chubby, but they both have gotten over, and they both. I mean, Kevin Owens has done it.
Cookie cutter.
Yes, Kevin Owens has done it despite the look. Yeah. And he even said that when he came in, that he tried to put on a singlet and everything because they were doing promo pictures, and they didn't know. They didn't know he was going to be Kevin Owens yet. Right. They didn't know who he was going to be yet. So he put on a singlet and everything, and he just looked at it. He said, "I wouldn't pay money to come see me looking the way I did." And he put on what he was wearing as Kevin Owens, and one of the producers said, "That's perfect. I love it." So hopefully Vince has seen this, because Vince is the one that's going to say yay or nay on a main roster contract.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
he gets the last speaking.
Hopefully he has seen him and said, "You know what? I'm wrong. I need to do this, and it's not about cookie cutter." And I'm not saying, Vince is all about that way, but here's the thing. If he's on both rosters at the same time, number one, that's huge. Number two, that's big money for him. Number three, it does nothing more but help NXT.
Oh, yes.
Because every time he comes out there, he needs to keep the belt with him as long as he's on both promotions.
Yes.
Also,
when he shows up,
how crazy is it that if he does have a main roster contract, if he's gotten that already before Sami Zayn, who's been there longer, before Finn Balor, before Tommy, before Tyler Breeze, before all these guys, that speaks huge volumes about him.
Well, I believe Sami Zayn would have got one too without the shoulder.
Without the
shoulder,
shoulder,
he was going to be out for about 6 months. They said so.
Right, and then a Tommy being out 6 to 8 months too, so that kind of hurts them. So Finn Balor needs to stick around down there to kind of help.
And he says he likes it down there,
which is amazing because the first reports.
If they have nothing good for him, don't bring
him up yet. But also the reports were saying that when he first signed on, that he didn't want to stay down there very long. And I don't know if it's true, but I'm glad that he's enjoying it down there. And
he's got to stand there and fight Tommy, who said he doesn't know who attacked him. So and why? See. Why bring it up?
We talked about that last week.
Yeah, so they cut in because all this other stuff was taped before. They cut in with him just getting done, having the bandage and everything.
I hadn't seen that yet.
Yes, and he said he don't know who attacked him, but he's getting healed up and everything as fast as possible to get back. So, and they're gonna lean it toward Owens.
And they can say 6 to 8 months, but they can pull the Cena treatment and it really not be 6 to 8 months.
Now let's get to the main event. The main event Elimination Chamber.
This is kind of, to me,
my boy Dean Ambrose
is not gonna win.
Is not going to win. I did not pick Dean Ambrose to win.
We both
I don't expect him to win.
But this, to me, Elimination Chamber, this match, because it's exclusively on the network anyway, this match here kind of reminds me of those Royal Rumble title matches. You never see the Royal Rumble match where their title changes hands in a title match of Royal Rumble. So it's one of those again, and that's the way I look at it. But it's going to be a good match regardless. Yep. The two of them work well together. They know each other very well. It's going to be great. And it's going to elevate both of them anyway.
But the shocker is that Roman Reigns is going to turn on Dean Ambrose tonight and join the Authority.
You think instead of Dean becoming the heel,
it's
going to
be
Roman?
Yes, because of what he said on SmackDown.
See, I don't watch SmackDown.
Well, I watch SmackDown, and he was talking about how Roman's watched his back. His brothers. So, a true friend.
And he says he's going to watch his back tonight.
I don't remember that.
Oh, if he did, that'd be awesome.
But he will. He's been in everything else with all these.
He has.
So if Seth's going to have Kane and J&J Security, of
shouldn't
course
Roman-
you're going to have Roman down there to watch Dean.
Shouldn't Roman say, well, he's in the Fatal 4-Way, so why should Dean get in, not me? You know, in the one-on-one. So I could see that.
And they may not tell you he's turning. He may accidentally spear Dean and cost him the title, which you call a rift between them, leading Money in the Bank.
Yep.
But I think in the long run, when it is revealed that Roman is part of the Authority.
There you go. And of course, Daniel Bryan will be appearing on Miz TV segment on the Elimination Chamber kickoff show to promote his new DVD coming out this Tuesday.
And now, before we go in the last few minutes here, like you said earlier, you were at the SAW show in the Gulf Coast, the WrestleMania.
SAW, yes.
The WrestleMania of the Gulf Coast.
Yes.
With Matt Hardy.
They had 7-time World Tag Team Champion Matt Hardy in action. Also scheduled to appear was first at SWA with 3 generations of Armstrongs with Bullet Bob, Steve, and Stevie. That did not happen. Also, it had Paul Jourdain, Dan Delicious, Waylon Barley, Bad Boy Leroy, Chris Ty, Mike Steele, Cali Kidd, Kyle Matthews, Justin Overstreet, Zane Stevens, Cameron Frost, Rex Andrews, Scotty Reyes, Christopher Slade, Billy Reyes, the manager of champions, Dandy Jack, and many more. What an event it was, starting out with the triple threat, and it was Chris Ty, Cameron Frost, and I was trying to see if it was on here.
You were there.
I was there.
It was a late night.
Christopher Slade, it was a late night. So, that match, of course, Cameron Frost came out with the win. Triple threat, it was like a helicopter finisher, too. It was great. He had him up on his shoulders, but Chris Ty had the Canadian flag in his hand. He's going to use it to hit Cameron Frost. Cameron Frost picks him up, swings him around, so at the same time the flag's flying in the air, and he drops him down to win that one. Also, Billy and Scotty Reyes, the Sin City Saints, lost to Justin Overstreet and Zane Stevens,
our
the
boys.
professionals, exactly. Zane Stevens. And then Rex Andrews in the semi-main event. Rex Andrews versus Kyle Matthews, match of the night. Rex Andrews won in controversial fashion, ladies and gentlemen. Rex Andrews from Booker T's camp in Texas. He had his leg under the rope apparently, and they counted 3 anyway, so they started the match up again. Which my vantage point, I did not see the leg under the rope. They restarted the match, and he truly had his leg on the rope this time, as he got the pin with 2 legs up on the second rope for the
and as you say, can you believe that, sucker?
Can you believe that, sucker? Exactly. The 6-man tag with Cali Kidd, Mike Steele, and Waylon Barley taking on the 3 generations.
But 2 were sick.
3 generations. 2 generations were sick. Steve and Stevie had a 48-hour bug, and Bullet said, I don't want to get sick. I don't want y'all to get sick. Yeah. So their replacements was the Sin City Saints pulling double duty, Scotty and Billy Reyes, and of course Team Bullet Bob Armstrong won on that one.
I got this bad to the bone.
Exactly. Dan Delicious took on his arch rival, Bad Boy Leroy, in a hardcore match.
Wow, hardcore.
They had a promo before the show really even started. It was after their little dark match. They had a pre-show match. Bad Boy Leroy said, look, we've been up and down the roads a long time, and if you've been here for the last 9 or 10 years at SWA, you would know that if you look at the where they do the music, everything on the PA system,
right,
that the guy sitting over there was a different person. And he said that the man that's been doing it for the last 9, 10 years, earlier this month, I think it was May 7th, he said, got called away to be up in the sky. So in a tribute to him, they did a 10-bell salute, and he challenged Dan Delicious to a basically just a match where they threw the rules out the window.
Take that rule book, throw it out the window.
As a tribute to their buddy, their friend. They said he was a personal friend of theirs, and they really threw the rules out the window. Dan Delicious he got blood. He had blood coming down. Blood coming down from the forehead, and then in a brown paper sack, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't. They didn't catch it on fire. Goodness gracious.
Thank goodness.
They turned that sucker upside down, and tacks went everywhere, ladies and gentlemen.
Hardcore.
Hardcore to the core, ladies and gentlemen. Bad Boy Leroy, he put the tacks on the mat, so you know what that means. And Dan Delicious put him through the tacks, not once, but twice.
Ooh.
And then after the match, Bad Boy Leroy said, "If you beat me, I'll shake your hand," as a way of respect for the person who had passed away. Okay. So he goes to shake his hand, and Eddie G was there, his manager was there, Bad Boy Leroy's manager. We've seen him at the Bright Armstrong Memorial Show. But anyway, he tried to get in the middle of it, and this is an older gentleman too. Okay, he tried to get in the middle of it, and when he did, Bad Boy Leroy got mad, and Bad Boy Leroy powerbombed him onto the tacks, son.
Oh, jeez.
Tacks was everywhere.
I guess he's not his manager anymore then, is he?
Not his manager anymore. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the main event of the evening.
Main event!
Paul Jourdain, the end game. Paul Jourdain taking on the 7th time, I'm not going to count it 7 different times.
Please don't.
World Tag Team Champion, current. No, not current anymore.
No, he's not. He gave the belts up.
They had to give the belts up, but former TNA Tag Team Champion, Mr. Matt freaking Hardy.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah, V1, ladies and gentlemen. And I got his little bracelet here, says Stronger Than Death. It's very nice. And he shook my hand, very nice guy. They had a wonderful one-on-one matchup, got the crowd really into it, and of course, with a twist of fate and a 1-2-3, Matt Hardy came away with the win at the SWA Wrestlemaina of the Gulf Coast. And ladies and gentlemen, very, very quickly, road to Best in the World, Ring of Honor, 6-5-15 in Collinsville, Illinois, and 6-6-15 Nashville, Tennessee, and of course, Best in the World live on pay-per-view and IPPV on 6/19, 619 Booyaka Booyaka.
We'll still be promoting this Saturday on Destination America.
Exactly. 2015. That is going to be a huge matchup, a huge pay-per-view.
Yes.
And then, of course, last but not least, returning to WrestleCade is Nature Boy. Woo! Buddy Landon. And for the first time ever, the Hands of Stone. Rugged Ronnie Garvin. Somebody put on there, as long as he does not show up as Miss Atlanta Lively.
No, that's not what it is.
And they even posted a picture. It was scary. Okay.
It was scary.
So that is your Ring of Honor, WrestleCade, and Indy with SWA news. So very big success for the SWA, and I enjoyed being there. And they already announced that next year they will have the same exact. They will have another show.
All right.
Their yearly thing.
Last year they weren't too sure about it. So.
Yeah, they had to basically ask the fans if they wanted to see it again. So I wonder who will be the special guest next year.
Who could it be?
Who could it be?
Could be somebody we're seeing right now on WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor.
Global Force.
Because somebody we're seeing right now, they be in Florida for the WrestleMania of the Gulf Coast.
Could it be someone that's on the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view that won't be with the company anymore? Could it be Pierre?
Could be Pierre. Well, that is it for part 1, folks, of episode 60 right here on the YouTube. I'm, as always, Mike Hogan.
And I'm Justin Cobb.
And we'll see you in a few clicks as we talk about SummerSlam 1993.
Fat James.
Somebody has to stop it.
I wonder.